Welcome to another episode of the Architects Magazine, a show where we feature projects done by members of the Architects chapter. In today's episode, we are featuring a villa done by architect Kelvin Bwamu in Tatu City. I hope you enjoy.
Hi, my name is Kelvin Bwamu. I'm an architect. I'm the principal architect at Architecture by Cedar. Today we are here seated at Kimani Ridge, plot number R157. This is a development that we did how many years ago? I think it was, we completed 2 years ago or last year. Well, I can take you through the project a bit. We received the brief from our client, one of our best clients actually, in terms of what they wanted. They knew what they wanted. They were clear on the brief, and even throughout the design process, we worked very well with. So it was a typical 4-bedroom house with just the usual lounge, dining, family room. But when we came to site, we did the first reconnaissance survey. We realized this site has a bit of a slope, and so we had to respond to the slope and guide the client appropriately. So being a design that's been done in the Tatu City, within the Kimani Ridge precinct, we had to, of course, work in tandem with the DCC, with the Development Control Committee of Tatu City, who do a very good job, by the way, of keeping regulations and ensuring that people build according to their bylaws. So one of the things that we did, we engaged the client during design. We did our sketches. We sent them to the client. The client was able to give us his feedback. We went for a bit of back and forth, looking at the interiors, looking at the layouts, looking at the distribution of spaces, and eventually we were able to come up with what we have here. So because of the topography, we advised the client that a split level home would work well, whereby we have every floor, like the ground floor, have the lower ground and the upper ground, just to take care of the slope and to avoid wastage during construction. Also, during the design process, we have within our scope to bring in the other consultants, which is electrical engineer, mechanical engineer, civil structural engineer, and the quantity surveyor. So we also guided the client in sourcing for these consultants and working with them during project costing, which was quite critical, and during design of services. Because this house has a lot of sustainable solutions, or rather quite a number of sustainable solutions within it. We have we included within it rainwater harvesting. We have solar water heating and solar power for the home. Like the garden lights are all automated solar lights. So things like those, of course, we needed the input of the electrical engineers, and of course the mechanical engineer as well, to do their own designs and calculations. So we also relied on the QS when it came to costing and tendering, and that was our main role. So from design and also project management. We did a closed tender where we invited a number of contractors that we know and have worked with before to bid for the project. And that's when we got to work with a contractor known as Horikon Africa, one of the best contractors that we've actually been able to work with. They were awarded the contract, and that's how we got to now work with them. The major challenge during design, as I've mentioned before, was the topography. Now coupled with the fact that we had to adhere to DCC regulations. So while designing, you have to check on the plot setbacks. You have to check on the plot ratios and the plot coverages. We also had to check on, their waste management procedures to make sure that we observe what they have stipulated within the regulations. But the major challenge that was posed during design was responding to the topography. So how we worked around it is what we have said. We proposed a split level home, which we feel in the end benefited the client both in terms of outlook and how the spaces functioned. During contract documentation, the major challenge was responding to the client's desire to have an almost off-grid home, not fully reliant on the main grid power, but being able to sustain itself using solar and the likes. Also, waste management systems were a consideration during that time. So we navigated that, of course, using our reliance on our professional team, and the electrical mechanical engineer played a very important role in that. Costing was also a big challenge, because once you have done a design that the client likes, you need it costed before it can be approved and moved to the implementation phase. So our QS was critical in this regard. We also went through a lengthy process of costing the project, because when we did our preliminary designs, we also did our preliminary costings. But when we brought in the the client had also added a few things, especially to do with electricals and all that. And so we also had to go through a back and forth to agree on a working cost contract sum. This was also critical now during contract, or rather construction management, keeping the costs as per what the client had agreed upon at the commencement of construction. So this was a major challenge during construction. And that's because, of course, there are some unforeseen things that sometimes you get on site. Maybe you come, you do excavations, and you realize from the structural engineer's instructions you needed to go deeper, or you need to reinforce a wall a bit more than we had anticipated. But the bigger challenge, I think, during construction was management of subcontracts, and some were domestic, maybe brought in by the main contractor, but some were brought in by the client. And so management of subcontracts was a challenge, but with the help of the QS, of course, and the main contractor and the other consultants, we were able to manage this and to, of course, bring the project to a successful completion. We also faced a bit of challenges to do with mechanical works, but this, of course, were resolved. Sometimes they occur normally in such developments, but we were able, of course, to do the remedial works and to complete the house, considering it's also a flat roof. Waterproofing and all that had to be checked quite well. So all in all, I'd consider this project a success. One, because what we set out to do with the client, and I also appreciate our client so much, because he was very keen to see that what was designed is actually what is on ground. So what we set out to do in terms of design, cost, and all those things is what has come out. And personally, that's why I'm happy about this project, and I'm happy about the team that we worked with, because in the end, we're able to deliver exactly what we set out to deliver when we started.
Hi, my name is Kimani, the director of Horikon Africa, a construction company based in Nairobi. We offer construction services mostly for high-end residentials. And this is one of our projects. We came into the project in November 2020, where we were invited for tendering by the project architect and QS. And we went through the tendering process in November 2020, December 2020. We awarded the contract in January 2021. where site over happened in mid-January 2021, and we started off the project in February 2021. The project took about 1 year to complete, because we completed mid last year, that is March, April 2022. It was a successful project, but it had its own couple of challenges. One of the challenges we had, then that's what made it take maybe 2 months more, causing a delay of about 2 months or so, was there was a breakdown in the supply chain of aluminium. It happened that by the time we were making the aluminium windows, that's when the scrap metal ban was on, and abruptly the prices for steel and aluminium materials went up and they weren't available. So it took some 2 or 3 more. It took the subcontractor 2 or 3 more months to get the aluminium installed. That was one of the challenges. Another challenge was we had a few issues in coordinating the mechanical works. There was a breakdown somewhere on managing the subcontractors, and we had a few challenges on the plumbing. We had a place where the pressure wasn't fully regulated, and we had a few leaks here and there in the master bathroom. The third challenge was there was a few variations here and there, because as you start just in like any other project, when you start off the project, you have the idea. Everyone has an idea of what they want, but it's not the exact idea. So along the way, you keep on getting a few design specs changing here and there, client changing a few things here and there, and all those things lead to an increment in cost. So basically, it was a challenge also. Then with the challenges comes the positive side of the project. There were positive things about the project. One of them was the client was available all through, and he was very supportive throughout the project. So it was very easy to make decisions. He was a very strict client and someone who knows exactly what he wants. So it was very easy for us to work with him. And he made the project running time to be shorter, because the decision making were easy. From choosing the tiles, choosing the cabinetry's color, choosing the color scheme, the finishes, the wazeras, the timber and everything. Yeah, he made it easy for us. Also, the team was very cooperative, from the masons to all the other artisans that we had throughout the project. They were very cooperative and very supportive. Their workmanship is outstanding. Their skills are also good. So they really made it easy for us to deliver the project in time. The timber work was also a positive thing. As you can see, one of the most challenging parts we have is the timber cladding on the front side facade of the building. It was quite a challenge, because we weren't sure. It was one of our first projects to do exposed timber, on timber that is exposed to weather, to rain, to sun and to everything. So we had to treat it severally. We had to purchase the timber and treat it severally using special chemicals. So that was a new thing that we learned from the project. And as you can see, almost 1.5 years down the line, the timber is still in good condition and aging, looking better and better. Yeah, so it was a plus as well. Looking at the project, we take pride in it's a very good quality work. The workmanship is good, came out very well. I'm sure the architect is also happy about the project. The client was very pleased with the final product. Yeah, we take pride in this and we are very happy about it. From the lessons we learned, the challenges we faced and the lessons we learned are a plus. And on to the next projects. We take a lot from this project. We take a lot of pride in the project, and we also very thankful to the consultant, the team, the whole project team, from the consultant, from the lead architect to the QS to the structural engineer, mechanical and electrical engineer. They were really supportive throughout the project, and to the client also, it was very supportive. We are thankful to each and every one of them.
We would like to thank Joan's Interiors and Exteriors Limited for partnering with us on this episode. They supplied the mild steel gates and all the mild steel works for the project. We would also like to thank ELfurni Furniture for partnering with us on the episode as well. They supplied the doors and the timber works for the project.